Happy hump day. Welcome to the Dear Juju podcast. Oh my God, you guys. It's been sunny in London. I can't believe it. Seriously, I almost cried when I saw the sun out, and it's been out for like 3 days. Okay? So I'm wearing my Oscar de la Renta pink. I'm wearing my Oscar de la Renta scarf because it's giving me spring fling, baby. Let's get into it. Hello, world. Come inside the Dear Juju podcast. This week, you guys, my mother-in-law is still here and we have had the best time. The good thing about when people come and visit you in a new city is that you actually get to show them around while exploring yourself. And that's been so fun because I don't really always get to have time to have an excuse to go see a new neighborhood, go see what I want to do. You know, I'm wiping asses, shooting Dear Juju, coming up with recipes and trying to decorate this whole house. So having her here has been so much fun. Like when people come and visit you, you think, oh, my people. And then when you get to explore together, I think that's even more fun. So we went to the Borough Market and everyone talks about the same stuff at the Borough Market. The strawberries, the paella, the oysters, the pork sandwich. And I thought, I'm going to talk about stuff that's not on the beaten path. Well, that's kind of all there is. And then everything else is pretty much a shop, like a cheese shop or a meat shop or things like that. And that's pretty much all there is at the Borough Market that's really good and that stands out. There's other stuff. And that pork sandwich, and the strawberries with chocolate. I mean, how can you get that wrong, right? And then we went to Notting Hill today and we went to Portobello Road, Portobello Market, went in and out of all the vintage things. And you guys, I gotta say it, a current affair is the best vintage in the world. And I can say that now with the utmost confidence. Portobello Road, if you want a fur jacket, great. If you want a leather jacket, great. If you want a jean jacket, great. It's not really good for the vintage that you think of vintage with glitz, glam, silks, like beautiful vintage like that. It's not really here in London because it's the Americana Hollywood Regency. Right? It's the Marilyn Monroe era. It's the era of just Americana glamour. And if they do get a piece of that here, you guys, it was 750 pounds. I think that's like almost $900. Like obscene for a silk caftan. $900. Then I went into another store that has Diane Freese, who I love and have tons of pieces upstairs. They were asking £700, you guys. I don't think that much shopping in the vintage world is really going to happen here. LA wins one. London's got a lot of other wins, but not when it comes to my vintage, darling. Not when it comes to the glamour. We got it on lock. Fighting is good. Okay? It's good. You want to fight around your kids. You want to have a fight with your partner. If you keep it in, it makes you sick. And it's all about how you fight, right? Like, so when you fight around your kids, don't name call, don't scream, but you can have a disagreement and my kids will know and they smell it when we have a disagreement. And he's like, stop fighting, you guys. And we teach them why. It's okay. We're having a disagreement. We're disagreeing about something, but we're talking about it. And that's what's important is you want to show them we can have conflict and we can have resolution. And this is how you do it healthy. But every once in a while, it's nice to have no one around and just go, shut the fuck up. You're dumb. So with my mother-in-law in town, my husband and I, we like to do this thing. We like to kind of play fight. We both have a lot of energy and a lot of opinions, and we like to get it out. And it sometimes makes other people a little uncomfortable because they don't understand our dynamic because we're very sharp-tongued people. So, but we always end up laughing. That's the thing. So funny because we bought all this art because we went to Kempton Flea Market as well. We bought all this art. We brought it home because up the stairs, we can't really paint. It's this huge, massive wall up these stairs up to a next level. And so we're doing this massive art wall. So we're just collecting all this art. So we go to hang the art, and my husband kept putting it in places that were making my eye twitch. And he was like, let's work on this art wall. It was nighttime. Jaja was here. That's what we call his mother. And I said, let's work on it tomorrow. Okay. That day, Jaja left and went and, just went on the high road and wanted to have a little walkabout by herself. And I said, oh, that's perfect. We'll stay back and we'll do the art wall. And don't you know? And we just take the piss out of each other. It gets a little no holds bars. He's like, yeah, well, because I do shit. If it was up to you, you'd never get done. I'd be like, I never get shit done. Excuse me? And then we always end up laughing because we always take it a little too far. And that's when I say, too far. Or he'll look at me and go, too far. And I'll say, okay, sorry. And then we'll come together and we'll start laughing about it. But fighting feels good. It feels like you just worked out or something. Like sometimes you just have to get this pent up energy and get it out. And honey, I don't know about you, but how do you start a fire? You rub those two sticks. Yeah. Friccione. Okay. Friction. It's the friction. Starts the fire. Friction makes you And then Jaja came back home and we were fine again. And it felt so good. So if you have those little things that are bugging you or you're holding it in, it's nice to have a little fight every once in a while. Don't be afraid to fight. Fight, okay? But do it right. Do it funny. Do it silly. Always do it a little playful. And if they take it too far, you can say, excuse me, red light, too far. My son is having his 7th birthday. I cannot believe he's 7. It's wild to me. I think of him as 2 years old. We're going to get all his friends from school and we're going to some laser tag or something. We were going to go to Paris and I was like, listen, he's turning 7 because he said that he wanted to see the Eiffel Tower. And I just had to make a judgment call. I said, we're not going to Paris. A, he won't remember it. B, like he's not old enough to really appreciate it. And C, I think it's really important that we start to apply roots, and having a birthday with friends, I think makes you feel grounded and rooted in this. So we're having a birthday of laser tag. I started Dear Juju when he was 1.5 years. So it's 6 years going on. Yes, 2019, we're in 2025. This is my November of this year will be my 6th year of Dear Juju. And it's very interesting because I feel like up until this point, I wanted Dear Juju to pop off and I wanted it to happen and I wanted it to happen so bad. And now I am so happy that it didn't. Sometimes it's the unanswered prayers in hindsight that you feel the most grateful for. I look back on those 7 years, which are really important times in a child's life. And to know that I have been there through every ass swipe, through every bad dream, through every tear, and through every boo-boo, and through every bath time. In 7 years, I've only been away from him 7 days. I'm really proud. Oops. Oh, that's my alarm. Time to take my antidepressant medication. Up. And I just thank God for unanswered prayers. I'm so happy that it didn't happen then. I'm so happy that it didn't happen in these past 7 years. If you would have asked me before, there's no way I would have said right now what I'm saying, that I'm so grateful that Dear Juju hasn't popped off in these past 6 years because I've spent time with my kids. It's something I'll never regret. I want to be on my deathbed being like, I was there for all of it. I was a great mom when they needed me the most, when they were the youngest and the most vulnerable. And so I just want to take the time and thank God for unanswered prayers. Is there ever been something that you really wanted to happen and it didn't happen, and then you learned later that, oh, I'm actually glad that didn't happen? I hope it happens in the future, and I know that it's going to happen when the timing is right. And so I'm just trusting the timing of it. Y'all, do you hear that? That's fucking growth. That is inner work. I used to need it like oxygen. And now I'm just like, I'm so happy it didn't happen. I'm cool. I'm cool. Okay, now let's move on to some domestic goddessness because you guys, I have some tips. At actually Portobello Market, there's also this big food stand. I've never seen such a crazy range of food. There was fried Korean chicken, there was bulgogi, there was Iranian food, there was falafels, there was Filipino food, there was Mexican food. Like, it was wild. So I got the Iranian food, which was the lamb, kind of like a lamb burger. It was really good. These little patties with beautiful rice, dried dill and fresh dill, and then a yogurt sauce that was lovely. I got the falafels, also lovely. But the thing that was the real showstopper, they made a duck sandwich, kind of like how you make carnitas. So I'm going to let you know about it. Slow cook it in either a La Creuset or a crock pot if you must. And what you do is you put it in a broth and you put your aromatics in that. So you want to get into the spices. You want to get into the cloves, the star anise. You want to get into the garlic. You want to get in maybe to the little bit of the cinnamon, the ginger, the soy sauce, all of that with a little bit of broth and braise it, right? And of course, a little red wine. Can't do anything without red wine. Low and slow for hours is what you want to do, just like you would a carnitas. Then once that's ready and braised and cooked through and falling apart, what you then do is you get a scalding hot pan, cast iron. Always. Keep that duck fat that's rendered that you can get at the top. And you want to put a little bit of that duck fat in the scalding hot pan, shred your duck, then crisp it up, just like how you would carnitas. Then it will caramelize with the sugars and the cinnamon and star anise and peppercorns, and it's going to be so lovely and so flavorful, crisped up. Then what he served with it was caramelized onions in a separate pan, salt, and caramelize 2 or 3 onions all the way down, wilt it down. So on the bread, this is also the really important part. In that duck fat, he also got the gorgeous bread, and he opened it up, butterflied it, and then put the duck fat on it and made sure it was griddled with the same juices as the meat. He built the sandwich, and he put the caramelized onions. He put a little bit of a chili oil. I would do a chili oil and a sweet chili. I think that would be really lovely. The pulled duck, the greens, and then closed it. And that was it. And it was absolutely fantastic. Sometimes it's the simplest things. And with that pulled duck, I feel like you could have it with rice. You could have it in a sandwich. It's kind of like the gift that keeps on giving. So next time you see a duck, don't shy away from it. It's something that isn't really... We don't lean to duck like we lean to chicken, like we lean to pork, like we lean to beef. And I just think it's so underrated. So next time, think fuck a duck. Go ahead and crisp you up some Donald Duck, honey, okay? I think it's also a showstopper and a really amazing, like, wow. Okay, cocktails. This one out of 46 episodes is one that I am never going to do again. But the cocktail this week is no cocktail. You heard right. You're like, what are you talking about? I noticed that I was leaning into the drinking way too much. I looked different. I was puffy. My skin was awful. And I said, you know what? No more. No more. I haven't drank in almost a week. And I feel so much better. But there is a ritual for drinking for me where I got music playing in the kitchen. I'm cooking up dinner. I get a wine glass. I pour a glass of wine or I make myself a martini while I'm cooking, you know? Before I get the dinner in, I get a little buzz on. So now you have to replace the habit. To break a habit, you replace the habit. And that's really important. So what I've been doing when I'm cooking, when I'm dancing with the music, I go, God, I want to drink. So I get the wine glass and I fill it with ice. I squeeze a bunch of lemon in there, slice it really beautiful, slice a cucumber, pour water in it, and then I have spa water in my wine glass. And I'm feeling good and I'm dancing while I'm getting hydrated, but I still feel fancy and I've replaced it with spa water. You can also replace it with a kombucha or like an iced matcha or something. I think it's really important when you're trying to break a habit, not to just cut it cold turkey, but to replace it. That is the one and only time you're going to get that answer. Decor. You guys, my living room has now turned into palm tiger situation. And now I can't stop seeing palms and tigers everywhere. It's kind of started leaning in that direction. And now I want to lean into it hard. and especially like a tiger or a leopard or a cheetah or a jaguar. There's just something that feels so freaking grand about a big old pussy in your living room. You know what I'm saying? Get you a kitty meow meow. And what I really want is I am so into with decor, statues. We ain't talking about no 6-incher. We're talking like I'm talking like in the 40 inches. Okay. I want a tiger that's like, "Rawr," right? That's Italian ceramic, or a dog, that's ceramic that you can put inside next to a fireplace. Now, that's the kind of dog I like. I'm not into dogs. Sorry. I know there's a lot of dog people. I love dogs, but they shit, they piss, they have fur. I already got, 3 assholes 4, including mine, that I have to tend to in this house. I don't need another asshole. But I love a ceramic one, and I think they're elegant and fabulous and always so grand. So if you can find or come across a statue of a dog, of a panther, of a tiger, you get that. Okay, you get that. I really want a gold palm Hollywood Regency lamp, floor lamp. I got one that's like a palm, but it's new, and I didn't go for the gold, and I should have just waited and gone for the gold, but they're expensive. They're like 700 pounds, which is like damn near $900. So I got one for a couple $100 that just has the palm up top. And it looks great. So that's what I'm into to decor. So with all that, let's get into some Q&A with some tea. Bye-bye. Dear Juju, I have my 40th birthday coming up. Yes, queen. For my party, I want to create a signature cocktail that screams me. How do I go about inventing one that's chic, delicious, and dangerously drinkable at my party? Thanks so much. I need a little bit more than that, but I think you should go with something that you already like to drink that you lean on, and then just twist it from there. A Cosmo, a gin and tonic, a Manhattan, an old fashioned, a martini, whatever it is, do it, but then add something that is you, that you like. And like on a Cosmo, one time I went to a restaurant and the Cosmo was made with raspberry juice instead of cranberry juice. So they basically took a bunch of frozen raspberries and just blitzed them up in the blender. And then they poured an ounce of that, and it was gorgeous. And it was fresh raspberries, and you could can that. You know what I mean? So I would take the classics, see where there's room for improvement, and reinvent them and name it something really fun. But that's the thing. When inventing something, who do we all think is the greatest inventor, or not, depends on your view on it, is the iPhone, right? It literally gave us computers in our hand. And Steve Jobs said, you want to be great? Then copy. He copied what either IBM or was doing and basically twisted it and made it his own. Stay with the classics, then just give it a twist. Call it a fun name. It'll be lovely. And happy birthday. Ooh, you're a Pisces. Maybe you're an Aries and you're planning. Let me know how it goes. Let me know what you actually make. Dear Juju, I love my friend, but she always, quote unquote, forgets her wallet when we go out. How do I call her out without sounding cheap? You're worried about you sounding cheap? First of all, you don't need your wallet anymore. There's Venmo, there's Zelle. It's all on the phone. So it sounds like you're not cheap. It sounds like she's taking advantage, and you need to put her in her place. I would cut this friend off. She's clearly using you. That's not a good friend. A good friend doesn't do that. And if they do forget their wallet, as soon as they come home, they would Venmo you. Do you know what I mean? Like, this person's obviously taking advantage and a little sneaky, and I don't like that. So what I would do is I would send her a Venmo request of the $65, $95, $105, whatever it is, dollars that you have paid, and request and text her, hey girl, I know you forgot your wallet the past couple times that we went out, so I sent a Venmo request. I would love if we could settle up. Thanks. Have you ever seen A Bronx Tale? Go back and watch that film, please. In A Bronx Tale, Colangelo, someone owes him money, and he's running after him going, hey, you owe me money. He owes me $25. And Sonny goes, did you like this person? He goes, no, not really. And he said, it cost you $25 to get them out your life. Now you're free. Think about it differently. So I would send the request. I would send the text. If they don't send it, this person's clearly a user, and it costs you $100 to get rid of them because you know they're going to avoid you like the plague anyways. It's honestly a win-win in my case. Real friends don't do that. They don't take advantage of each other. And it's not subtle. And now with everything on your phone and Venmo, I don't play that. I don't play, I forgot my wallet. No. you are slipping and you're tripping. Let them go. Last one. Dear Juju, we love making cocktails at home, but my husband thinks he is king of the cocktails. But his cocktail creations don't taste very good. How do I gently steer him towards making drinks that we can actually enjoy? I'm so excited and looking forward to your cooking club. When will it start? Me too. I have to kind of think about it. There's so much coming up. The hardest thing about the cooking club is the timing because I'm in London. A lot of you guys are in the US, and when I would actually do it. That's the only thing that's kind of bumming me out. Anyways, we'll figure it out. This is a second cocktail question in one time. What I would do is I would say, hey, babe, let's bring it back to basics. Maybe buy a book of the classic cocktail recipes, 50 recipes you need to know how to make before you die, cocktail book. There's a zillion of them out there. And say, let's start with the classic. When you're training in ballet, in cooking, in decor, in anything, you start with the classics because only when you know the rules can you bend the rules. And that's something that's really important. You have to know the bedrock on which this was formed to then funk it up. So it's really important that if he's doing too much and it tastes disgusting and his palate isn't perfected, cleanse his palate with the classics and go back and say, let's make a martini together, old fashioned. Say that you want to kind of learn because then that will refine his palate for what a good cocktail should actually taste like, how it should be put together. So I hope that helps. All right, that's all I got for you this week. I can't wait to show you what we did at Borough Market. It was so fun. I actually didn't have the oysters, even though I love oysters, because they were like this big. When it's too big, it's too much. So thank God for unanswered prayers. Am I right? Thank God for unanswered prayers. I never thought I would be saying that. And don't forget that you're a star. Like, don't let these only 5 senses fool you to the inner knowing of the universe that you are. Okay? You're a star. Act like it, walk in it, piss like it, brush your teeth like it, talk like it, walk like it. I love you, and I'm out. Mwah!